Chapter 9, Full Game Loop. There's only one last chapter to go, and in this final chapter, we'll be dealing with creating our main menu scene and setting up our last two features, internal difficulty and the how high screen. Let's get into it. The main menu is very simple, and as with the UI Manager script, we'll be using Unity's own UI system with a little bit of code to string it all together. So, to start off, create a new scene. Just make sure you've saved your previous one. Next, we'll set up the main text object with a canvas. Now create a new script and name it main menu. We're going to need both includes we know of so far, plus a new one we haven't used yet, the scene management library. This gives us access to Unity's scene controls. Now add the following variables. Initialize the text object reference via the start function. Here, we'll also add a line that changes the scene if we're on a mobile device, so that mobile users don't have to bother with a menu scene that isn't coded for touch. We need to create an input function, so that we're able to select a menu item and select it. Call the new function menu input from update. Now back in the editor, attach the main menu script to the menu text object in the hierarchy. Set the selections variable in the editor to the following two strings. Now that we have another scene, we need to make sure that the scene is included into the project. Our second last feature to code into our project is the internal difficulty. We created the variable for internal difficulty back in Chapter 4, Step 2. The purpose of internal difficulty is to change the behavior of Kong, the barrels, and the living fires to make them harder as time goes on. The game's starting internal difficulty also increases every 10 levels. So to start, open the level factory script and add the following variables. Now we need a way to initialize the internal difficulty. For that, we'll make a function called set. Because our difficulty goes up every 33 seconds during a level, we need an internal difficulty update function to keep track of time and to bump up the internal difficulty when the time comes. And so when it's actually time to change the difficulty, we'll run internal difficulty change settings. Now all we need to do is call the functions in the appropriate areas. When we start the game from the main menu, instead of jumping straight into the game, we want to slow the process down a little bit, and just like the original game, we're going to display the how high screen for a few seconds. So open the level factory script and add the following new variables. Next, we add the enabling function for the screen. And now the update function that keeps the timer of the screen. Now we need to call the two new functions. Call the update function within level factory's update, and call the enable function within the level factory's start function. Remove the call to level create in start, and add the following instead. Here, we're setting the seed of random to the current time, so that when we generate random numbers throughout the project, they'll be generated differently. Next, the how high prefab actually needs to be created. Now return back to the level factory. We need to stop Kong and the eternal difficulty from running while the how high screen is enabled. So change the update function to look like the following. And now finally, go back to the editor and make the main camera's background color black. Congratulations! You've finished Chapter 9 and the entire walkthrough. If you've done everything correctly, you should now be able to save, compile, and run your project. You should now have a fully playable and complete game. If you'd like to compile and build your project to either PC or Android, jump over to the very last extra chapter and we'll take you through that final process. Congratulations!